Yo guys, so today we're about to break down a 2000s inspired beat. I actually made this beat for an artist, but sadly he didn't want to rap on this one. Instead, he preferred rapping on a new jazz type beat. But personally, I definitely prefer this one. But I mean, I can't say anything. I'm not the artist.
Shut up!
So yeah, a really nice 2000s inspired type beat. And don't forget guys, the 4th of August, I'm gonna drop my new drum kit, but I'm actually gonna change the name. I think the Lost Files, Lost Files is okay, but I think I'm gonna change the name to Summer Drum Kit, since this is the drum kit I'm making this summer. But really quickly, here's a code to get minus 30% off that kit. And I'm already preparing a snippet for July 13th, so stay tuned for that one. The promotion code is gonna be missing, referring to the day I lost all my files. That was I think 3 months ago, man. So yeah, that's pretty sad, but I hope that you're excited for the drop. Remember the promotion code for the 4th of August. Enough talking about that kit, let's get to the breakdown. Wow, such a nice beat, bro. Told you it was a really nice beat. Okay, so let's get to the breakdown. Okay, so for the chord progression, we're starting with Triton Extreme, and we're using the Tine E piano. For the chords, you want to chop them like this, as you can see, using usually...
Huh? What?
Usually using a ton of counter rhythm here and there, and really try to play with those really fast notes, like you know, where you're playing really fast with your piano. That's the same thing you want to do here. You want to play really quickly and just, you know, don't sustain the note too much. As you can see, I'm even cutting them already in the middle like this. And we're going from an A minor chord into a D minor chord. I'm going to show you the chord progression. Let's get it. Okay, so before doing all the chords and everything, what you want to do is click here, go to view, go to scale highlighting, and make sure you're in natural Aeolian and you're choosing a root note. As I just told you, we're in A minor, so we're choosing A. Then what you want to do is go on your root notes, so us is A there, and then what you want to do is do the skip place method. This is how it works. So once you have the scale highlighting like this, you want to take your root note, then you want to skip the note that is in the scale. So all the notes, all the white note like this, you're on the scale. So what you want to do is skip the first one you see. So boom, we're landing on the first one. Let's just skip it. Then we're gonna do it again. So boom, skip this one, go here, and then one last time, skip this one, go here. And then we have a 7th chord. A 7th chord is using the 7th note, so this is how it works. You have the root note, which is the first note. We're gonna skip the 2nd, we're gonna place the 3rd, we're gonna skip the 4th, we're gonna place the 5th, and we're gonna skip the 6th, we're gonna place the 7th. But as you can see, there's too much tension in that chord and it sounds a little too R&B-ish, and you want to sound it more jazzy. So to do this, I used this note here, and instead of placing it here, I'm gonna place it right there on the A again. So we're doing an inversion. An inversion is when you're taking one note and you're putting it one octave up or one octave down. Here we're placing it and we're copying it one octave up like this, and this is how it sounds like. So that's the chord here, and then what you want to do is use counter rhythm. So counter rhythm is something that is not in the rhythm, basically. And as you can see, if we follow this, the rhythm here should be like this, something really linear, something like this. This is a rhythm, no? This is the basic rhythm. But since we're gonna use counter rhythm, instead of having them landing like this, we're gonna change it and spice it up a little bit. As you can see, if you look at that chord, it's falling right here on this line. What we're gonna do is take that chord, and instead of placing it here, which is in the rhythm, we're gonna take it and place it here, use some counter rhythm, you know, and then just want to slice it up to, you know, add a little bit more spice, and copy that again and place it again on the counter rhythm here, and boom, you have a chord with a nice counter rhythm. As you can see, really simple, but it sounds nice. Then just take your bass note, you want to put it about here. So then we're gonna use rhythm, counter rhythm, rhythm, so that, you know, it's not too much counter rhythm, but it's not too much rhythm.
What?
It's not too much linear, but it's not too much counter rhythm, because if you had too much counter rhythm, the drums are gonna sound a little bit weak, you know, they're gonna sound weird. But if you do the perfect amount of linear and the perfect amount of counter rhythm, you have a really nice 2000s inspired beat. So as you can see, rhythm here, counter rhythm there, and then rhythm, and then just copy the chord progression, bam. And then we cannot just use the same chord again and again, so we have to change it. Let me give you a really quick music theory tip. When you don't know where to place a nova chord, just take your first chord progression like this, copy it, so so Control B. Then what you want to do is putting it 5 semitone up or 5 semitone down, and it's always gonna sound great because it's gonna rely on the 5th, which is always in key with the root note. And what I did is I took this 5 semitones up like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, we're landing directly on the D minor chord, as I just told you. So boom, D minor chord. This is how the chord progression sounds like. Okay, so nice, but what we can do is spice it up again. Instead of just doing that one note here, one note here, we can spice that up, especially here, and just add some notes here and there, and then you should end up with something like this. As you can see, it lands directly into this A chord right there, and it sounds really good. And what you want to do is copy this and then just play again with the last part. So keep in mind that what you want to do is add rhythm, counter rhythm, then counter rhythm again, etc. And you don't want to put too much counter rhythm because the drums are going to sound super weird. But you don't want to keep it too linear because it's not going to sound like a 2000 inspired beat, you know. Usually they have something a little spice that, yeah, you see what I mean. So then for the piano, just want to use some plate reverb, and it's coming from UADX. It's a free plugin, but I don't use it that much because it's a little bit weird to use, you know. Then we're using a guitar from Zenology. This is the Fab 4 guitar, and in those type of beats, you always want to have a really, a old plugin playing a guitar or a piano. And this is what we're doing. We're using Zenology, which is an old plugin, but you see what I mean. Zenology is a good plugin, but this is how it sounds like. And for that one, you just want to lower the lows, lower the highs. Make sure to drop a little bit those frequencies because they're going to clash with the main piano. Then you use this plugin to lower the saturation, because if I remember, this one had a lot of saturation. So I had to desaturate it using 3 limiter. And then just want to put it in stereo about 11%, that it doesn't clash too much with the main piano. Then we're going to pull up Zenology again and use the Finger E Bass 1 preset. And for this one, just want to copy the rhythm that we used for the chord progression. So rhythm, counter rhythm, then rhythm again, and you just want to follow the chord progression in terms of notes. For the bass, you just want to lower a little bit those really low frequencies to create space for the 808. Lower also this one, also for the 808, and you don't need highs in the bass, so just lower them. Then we'll pull up Tridon again. We're going to use the DGE piano and pad 1 preset, and then just copy the chord progression. This is how it sounds like. And for this one, you just want to lower the lows, bring down the low mids frequencies and also the high frequencies. Then for those really high frequencies, and also so it doesn't clash with anything, you just want to use a Fresh Air. Fresh Air is a nice plugin to add a little bit more sparkle to those high frequencies without them clashing with any other frequency. So just want to put the high air to 25% and the mid air to 14%. Then for the chorus, we're using a lead guitar from Splice. And for this one, you want to put it in stereo about 50%. Lower the lows, lower the low mids, brought up the main frequencies. This is where it was hitting, so it can shine through the mix, and also lower the highs. Lastly, add some reverb, lower the decay so it doesn't have too much tail. Make sure to add some mix so with the size it has a nice stereo. And lastly, brought up the low cut so it doesn't have lower frequencies inside of the reverb. This is how it sounds like. Then we're using some reverb, just brought down the decay, make sure the mix is about 30%, 40, 50, you know. And then the low cut, always about 500 hertz. Just lower the lows, make sure that the frequencies that are clashing with something are brought down and that the higher frequencies are brought down too. This is how it sounds like. Then we want to add some effects, chimes, transition, fills, scratches, especially those ones. You want to use scratches, bro. Also add some impacts like this downer here. And then the tambourine, a lot of tambourine actually. And some perks loop here. Of course you gotta add that tag, bro. This is how all the melody sounds like. Shit, sounds hard. We're gonna pull up a kick. You know how to use that kick, man. Just following the chord progression rhythm. So rhythm, counter rhythm, and rhythm again. That's the thing. As you can see, rhythm here, counter rhythm, counter rhythm. And then, you know, you want to experiment. But usually what you want to do is just following the chord progression rhythm, and you just want to add a couple of notes here and there, playing in the rhythm so it sounds good. This is how the kick sounds like. Sounds good. Then for the snare, a little tip I can give you is to go here. So in the sampler, you want to click here and you want to brought up the shift to about 0.01 or about here, you know, about 10%, like something like this. So I don't know what the shift really does, but basically instead of playing the sample right on the beat, it's gonna move it a little bit out of rhythm. It's gonna add a bit of counter rhythm, you know, a bit of surprise. And that's what you want to add, especially in the 2000s inspired beat, because we don't know why they love to do this, bro. This is how the snare sounds like. Playing really simply on the second step and on the fourth step. So if this is the first step, then this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. Since we're in 4/4, 100 BPM, then you want to use some open hats. Stay simple with the rhythm. As you can see here, as you can see, it's only landing on that third step here. And you want to add over perks like this crash here, landing directly on the first one. You want to add a chant playing on the fourth one. As you can see, it's really repetitive. Lastly, a vox playing on the first one again. And then since we used the first, we used the third, we used the fourth, let's use the second. And here we're using the second with a rim, playing really quickly, a roll like this, as you can see. So then let's go to the 808, because I mean, there's no secret for the perks. You gotta experiment, especially with those type of beats. I cannot give you a secret method that is gonna make you a genius for that one, because for 2000s inspired type beat, you have to experiment, you have to try things, move things a little bit out of rhythm. As I told you, use the shift knob also. And I mean, there's no secret though. As long as you have fire sound selection, it's easy for you. Talking about fire sound selection, you will be able to use my drum kit. It is not finished yet again, and right now I'm using the spin distorted for the bass. It's not done yet, but there's a lot of things, so that's why it's not done yet, because we're working on a lot of I know we're getting closer and closer to the date, but don't worry, we already have some of the sounds, you know, but we gotta name them, and that's the hardest part. Naming everything, finding all the project rates hidden in, and man. Okay, now let's go to the 808, bro. Let's get back to what we were saying. So for the 808, now I have a really nice thing to tell you. You wanna follow the chord progression. Nothing else. You want to follow the chord progression, experiment, especially what I did with this, playing a C, B, G, and then back to A. And to do this, I mean, try. And if you hear that it's not good, maybe just don't do it. But if it sounds fire, man, just go for it. Literally, as you can see, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, the chord progression, bro, and just putting some notes up, some notes down, adding some extra notes like this, just to spice it up a bit. But really simply, it's just the chord progression. This is how it sounds like. a secret tiny tip I can give you is to use my kit, bro. You gotta use my kit, man. It has fire sounds, so yeah. Hope you're gonna be there 4th of August, guys. As you can see, there's some fire sound in this shit. So yeah, that bass was really fire. That's not because it was following the chord progression. That's because it's sounding good, you know. Then we're using 3 limiters. I don't know why, bro. Don't ask me, man. Don't ask me. I don't know shit. We're gonna use 2 sidechains. So one here, sidechaining the bass. Another one here, sidechaining also the bass. Almost the same settings. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I was drunk. And then another one, but this one instead is just to compress it. This is to compress it. So I mean, 2 sidechain. Let's just show you. So you want to take your kick. So where's my kick? My kick is here. So the mixer for your kick, you just want to click here. You want to click there on your kick mixer. Take your 808 mixer and just go right here, right click, and use sidechain to this track. Boom. And then you're gonna open your favorite compressor, sidechainer. I don't know what plugin you use. Me, I use Fruity Limiter. I mean, it sounds good. And just take it, the sidechain here, right click, and use the kick output. And then you want to lower the really low frequencies there because they're gonna clash with the entire mix. But especially because our sound now are much more in a bigger spectral than the sound they were using back in the days. So back in the days, they were using sounds like with this tiny spectral. See what I mean? The range of frequencies, it was this, you know, like about, you know, I don't know numbers, man. And that's what we have now. So you gotta sometimes, you know, I don't know, I squish the frequency a bit, use some EQ, use some compressor, compress it a little bit. You see what I mean? You try to imitate the sound that they were using back in the days, and that's something that you gotta learn how to do. And for the tambourine, man, you gotta experiment with that shit. I'm not really helping you, but basically, if you look at the entire thing here, a lot of my perks are landing not on the line here, 2 steps after the line. So basically, it's, instead of landing here on the first step, it's landing on the 3rd one. That's because the 3rd one has a bit more counter rhythm than landing on the 1st one. And I'm gonna give you a tip for the intro too. Usually they were using that stutter effect here, and to do this one is really simple. Just cut everything, literally everything like this. Nice. Select it and just drag it here and do this twice. This should sound like this. So you know it sounds good, but you want to add a fill and a transition. So you know it sounds a little bit more groovy, a little bit more nice. And this is how it sounds like. Maybe just add the tag and we're all in, we're all good. Yeah, that was fire, bro, that was fire. So you guys, I hope that you like this little breakdown, this little tutorial. Don't forget the promotion code I gave you to get minus 30% off my new upcoming kit that is going to drop the 4th of August. Be ready to cop that one. Stay tuned for this. And also this weekend, I'm going to drop a few surprises as I told you, bro. This is the first surprise. It's a promotion code, man. Minus 30%. This is huge. This is huge. The second surprise, I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta watch the videos, man. You gotta stay tuned, as I told you. Hey, stay tuned because there's free surprises this weekend. Stay tuned this weekend for the videos. Stay tuned also the 4th of August. Stay tuned the 13th also of July because I'm gonna drop a snippet, as I told you. It's basically the next track of what sound you're gonna get, but also a quick little, basically, I don't know if I can tell you what I'm going to try to do, but on my website I might do a little kit that has some sounds of the drum kit that we're working on. So it's just a snippet, you know, it's just a really tiny extract of what you'll be able to get. So yeah, hope that you're ready. Don't forget that you can go on my website and cop all of my kits that are already in my website. There's the Harmony multi-kit, Star multi-kit, Glazing multi-kit, man. We have a lot of multi-kits and sample kits, bro. You gotta cop them if you haven't copped them yet. They are free, especially the Harmony multi-kit I just dropped back in February, I think. But right now I'm staying consistent. I'm gonna try to stay consistent. So you stay tuned. Hope that you're gonna have a great day, a great blessed day, you know, by Jesus Christ, everyone. And you already know I love you all. Peace out.